Hello everyone, welcome to this new course called Visual Effects. So this is one of the interesting courses in which you will learn something new and something interesting as well. So let's get started. So what is visual effects? In simple terms, visual effects is also called as VFX. As you see here, it's called as VFX. Okay, so in filmmaking, visual effects, in short, it is called as VFX. This is the process in which imagery is created. Okay, so we'll be creating images, but not the normal images. It will have you know something called as composting. This is similar to what you learn in advanced composting, but with a different software with different capabilities. Okay, so here composting in simple terms means combining visual elements from separate sources into single images. Say I have source number 1, I have source number 2, I have source number 3. So here I have a man, here I have a background, here I have, say for example, a fire. So this plus this plus this is what the output you get from the composting. Okay, so it is often used to create illusion that all those elements are parts of the same scene. Okay, we'll see some examples. I'll show you some examples as well. So you can see here, we also call this as special effects. Okay, this is a background, this is the boy, and you see this is the visual effects or the special effects that is added. Okay, so this is an illusion or tricks. Okay, basically it is tricks, isn't it? We are using some trick to combine all these three. Okay, so we have a background, we have a human here, and we have the special effects here. But all these three put together, it is giving an illusion, or we are tricking the eye to show a output. Okay, so where is this used? This is used in films. You might have seen a lot of movies. Okay, from Avatar to Titanic to whatever movie that you can check. It is used in television, theater, video game, simulator industries, and so on. Okay, so anywhere you wanted to tell a story, if you want to have something visually added in the form of special effects, okay, there comes this visual effects. Okay, so the software that we are going to use for this is Adobe After Effects. Already I've asked everybody to install the software. So in short, Adobe After Effects is called as AE. Okay, so Adobe is the company's name, you all know. Okay, Adobe After Effects, so AE. This is a digital motion graphics and composting software, and the main purpose is for film and video production. Okay, so AE in general is a digital visual effects, motion graphics, and composting application developed by Adobe Systems, which is used in the post-production process of filmmaking and television production. Let it be filmmaking or let it be the television production, this is used. So in general, the software type here is visual effects or motion graphics or composting, or you can even call it as computer animation software. See, one example I have shown you here. Okay, you shoot somebody with a normal camera, you add some visual effects like the eyeballs changing into different color, add some other kind of patches on the face. All this is possible. You can track, you can composite, You can also add motion graphics, the text elements, and so on. So the version that I am going to use is going to be Adobe After Effects 2021, and I suggest or I recommend you to use at least AE 2019 or later, 19, 20 or 21. Okay, so this is what is my suggestion. If you have any issues with the softwares, you can get back to me to let me know the issue. So these are some of the examples which I wanted to show it to you. Say a normal video which is shot. This was shot in a mobile phone. Okay, and you can add some effects to this. And this is another example where two people are fighting, and you can add some kind of light streaks or a bullet passing from the gun or any special effects that you would like to do. You can even add 3D elements. Say these two people are fighting. If you want uh, a 3D model to be here, you can add a 3D model like a dinosaur or something. Okay, so everything is possible. You can have a 3D model here next to them, walking, jumping. You can do whatever that you want. Okay, so what's the difference between Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects? Premiere Pro is just a video editing program. It has its own capabilities. Okay, the main functionality is just bringing the video clips together. We will have several video clips and we will join them, isn't it? So that is the main objective of Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, and it also has other functionalities like adding text and transitions, editing the audio and video, adding some effects, either internal effects that are available in Premiere or use some third-party effects to add, isn't it? So this and this are different. Okay, Premiere Pro and After Effects are different. How? Because this is a video editing program. This is a digital motion graphics program or visual effects program or compositing program or software. Okay, so you can add here titles, you can add shapes, you can add 2D animations, you can add special effects. So all this can be done with After Effects. Okay, you can even include 3D objects, you can have camera. Okay, all this is possible, which you will be learning throughout this course. So first of all, get to know about the basics. Okay, then it will be easy for you. I am going to take you and show you the Premiere Pro's interface. Are we ready? So we'll go and we will learn about AE 2021 in this class. So I'm going to open Adobe After Effects 2021 and my interface loads like this, and it's from the Adobe Creative Cloud. So once the interface loads, you'll get a pop-up window which asks you whether to create a new project or open a project. I wanted to create a new project in this case. So I'm creating a new project and say whether it's a new composition or new composition from any footage. Let me go for new composition. So what's this composition? Give a name for this. This is the intro class, and there are some basic settings that you would have to select. Okay, by default I think you will have if it is any other preset that is selected, I would advise you to go to HDTV 1080 25 frames. This 25 means 25 frames per second. 1080 means 1920 by 1080 pixels. It's square pixels. So automatically, because this is 25, this becomes 25. Okay, and resolution is full. The starting time code is 00, and duration is for 30 seconds. This can be changed later on also. And there are some advanced settings. Forget about it. We'll see it later. Give OK. When you give OK, you can see here. Okay, this is the entire interface of Adobe After Effects. Okay, once this interface is on, what you have to do is learn what is there in the menus that are here. Okay, so first of all, when you see here, new project, new folder, new Photoshop file, new Maxon Cinema 4D file. Okay, these are the objects that are available. As usual, when I say new, it starts a new project. So it is asking whether to save this project or not. Okay, so already I have a project. So what I have to do, I have to just go and save this project. So I'll save this project to this intro class folder and say this is intro class. You can see here the class is renamed here, intro class. So the extension for Adobe After Effects project is AEP. So any file that ends with .aep, this means Adobe After Effects project. So AEP, AEP. Okay. So this is what is shown as the extension here. Alright, so this is the project window that you have, and here you can see there is a name called intro class. This is your composition. You can see this is the type. Okay, you can see the details here. Okay, so this is the basic one, and this is your timeline. Like PR, you have the timeline and you have the preview window here. Okay, so how do we start? If you just right click here, okay, import, because to work on any file you need some image, isn't it? So I'll go to the intro class images. I'll just take a clock tower that I have. You see, once I import, the clock tower is here. Okay, to bring it to the timeline, you can just drag and drop it. Once you drag and drop it, you can see you got the image here. Okay, so this is your timeline. In this timeline, you can see, I can use minus and plus symbol in the keyboard for zoom in and zoom out. So this is the 30 seconds duration that we have given. Okay, it is for 30 seconds. This is an image. Okay, there are several tools here. I'll first let you know the floating toolbar that is here. You can press home. Okay, it comes to the home window. You can close it, and this is the selection tool. Okay, selection tool, you can select, you can move, you can place. Okay, like any other software. If you mouse scroll your mouse, you can zoom in, zoom out. Okay, and see, this scaling boundaries are given. You can scale it accordingly using the selection tool. Okay, so this is about the selection tool. And hand tool, like any other software, you can just move and see what is around your work area. And zoom, as usual, I told you, you can even use the scroll button in your mouse. Okay, you can see here all the shortcuts on the left corner. You can see the shortcuts that I'm using. Okay, all right. So there are some other tools I'll show you. I'll show you. These are the orbit tools and all. Okay, which you can even press the center scroll button and move this. Okay, you get the hand tool. Okay, now this is the rotation tool. I'll show you some example. I select this, I rotate. Okay, you see it's rotating, isn't it? But while rotating, you see there is an anchor point here. If I want to change the anchor point, press this, drag your anchor point, say I wanted to keep it here in the center of this. Okay, now I go to rotate, you see how it rotates. So that center is there in the center. Okay, that is anchor point. Say for example, I want the anchor point to be somewhere else. I'll show you another example. Okay, now I'll hide this I symbol is for hiding. Hide and hide. Okay, now I'll go to this symbol, rectangle tool. I draw a rectangle and I'll use this move tool. Now I'll use the rotate tool. Okay, if I rotate now, you see the center is here. But if I want to change the center, I can click here. This is the anchor point. This anchor point I can drag and drop. I'll keep it here. Let's see what happens if I rotate. So the same rotation will happen with respect to the anchor point that we have given. Okay. Now you see the anchor point is here. It rotates like this. Okay. So this is the use of this anchor point. And you have the pen tool. Say I'll hide this. I'll unhide this. Okay, here I have the pen tool, similar to that of Photoshop, similar to that of Adobe Premiere. It works. Say, using the pen tool, say if I wanted to do a mask, okay, say I wanted to mask this dial only. I'll just roughly draw this later for your understanding and drawing. Later we can correct it if you want it to be ellipse. So like this, you can use the pen tool and you can create, you know, the mask. Sorry, I have I didn't select the clock. Okay, so this is what happens. Say for example, now the mask has been applied here. You can see the mask is applied here. I'll hide this. I'll select this clock. Okay, when the clock is selected, you draw the mask. Okay, when you click and select, you get various masks here. Just choose the pen tool, the basic mask. You can see. Okay, so for this mask, you get to have all the properties. You can see here. When you open this, it branches out. Okay, mask feather. If I wanted to have some feather, I can have some feather. Okay, and the opacity of the mask, how much you need. Is it 100% or you want to expand the mask, reduce, expand, everything is possible. Okay, all this mask path that you have here, this is the shape, isn't it? So these shapes can be adjusted as well later on. Okay, when we study about the mask, you can study about this in detail. So for example, if I don't want this mask at all, I can select this and just delete, then the mask disappears. Okay, so this is how it works. Now comes another tool. I'll hide this. Next tool that you have is text. We call it as type tool. Okay, say GDUT. Fine, open this up. This is the text. You have options, you have transformation. Okay, if I want to scale, I can scale here. Or on the other side here in the properties, I find the text properties. You can see here. Okay, I can change the font that I wanted. Oh, I have some Chinese fonts as well. Okay, I'll keep this, and I can increase the text size in pixels, and I can increase the kerning that is required. You can see. Okay, so italics, bold, all caps. Okay, all this is possible. So for this text, if I go to the transform, I press this and I can place it wherever I want. Okay, say for example, you have the scaling, rotation. The rotation, as I told you, when you go for rotation now, the anchor point is here. You can see it's rotating like this because the anchor point is here. I can go change the anchor point, place it to the center, and now if I start rotating, it will rotate like this. Okay, manually I'm rotating. The values are changing here. You can see the rotation values. Say I make it 0, it comes straight. I make it 90, 90, 90 degrees. I make it 270, it flips. I make it 360, it flips like this. Okay, 360 becomes 1 into 0, 0. Okay, so this is how you have to understand the values and then you have to do. Opacity is nothing but the visibility of the text. Okay, so you might be wondering there are some points here, isn't it? These are the animation keyframes that you can set. See, now I am in the 0th second, the first frame. Okay, so in my first frame, I wanted to take this out. Just you can scroll like this, click, drag, or if you know the value, you can give minus 500. Of course, minus 500 took me outside. Okay, I'll just switch on this. When I switch on this, a keyframe is created. You can see a keyframe is created here as well. Okay, you can see I press plus, there is a keyframe here. Okay, I press minus. Okay, so in about 10 seconds, these are seconds. Okay, you can zoom and check. In about 10 seconds, here I will make this as 0. No, still further. I'll bring it here. So I press home, okay, home button, go back to the first frame and press space bar. You see the text slowly moves in and it stops at 10 seconds. And from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, nothing is happening. Okay, so these are the keyframes you can see. So if I want it to be faster, now it is slower, right? It comes slowly. If I had to make it faster, what should happen? The keyframe should be reduced. So I'll make it for 5 seconds. I'll select this and drag and keep it here. Now go back, play. It's faster. So now from the beginning, if I play, it will be faster. You can see. Now, additionally, if I wanted to create any keyframes here, okay, so I'll create a keyframe. Then I'll bring this closer. You can see an effect is created. Comes faster, stops. So if I make it like this, see the difference. It comes faster and then slows down. zoom. This is how simple text animations are created using After Effects. This is just with the position that we have created. Okay, my position is all fine, and in about 5 seconds, I'll click on the opacity keyframe. I've kept a keyframe here, and in 8 seconds, my opacity goes down to 0. Let's see how it works. See? So from this 8 seconds, I'll make it to 6 seconds. So it will be little more faster. Comes in, stays in the center, opacity goes down to 0. It disappears. Okay. The same can be applied for any options that you see here in the timeline. Okay. For example, here I switch on the scaling from here to here. When it settles down, I want this to become bigger. Now you check. Simple. So by looking at the keyframes, you should get yourself familiar with how to manipulate these keyframes in the timeline. Okay, that's more important. Okay, you should understand the timing, the positioning. You can have any number of text layers. Say for example, if I click the text, say PRC. So I'll just type this. I'll keep it here. Say I'll make it 200. I'll put it in the center. Now another interesting part you can see here. This is the zoom in, zoom out instead of shortcut. Okay. Now this PRC, you can see here it starts from 0 seconds to 30 seconds. Here I can move. So PRC is not here. When GDUT comes, zooms in, then I can bring in PRC. You can see I'm playing. So PRC comes like this. Okay. So this one, if I wanted to make any animation to this, because this is dropping in just like that. So open this up, go to the transform. Here there are no keyframes. So you go to the first frame and say the opacity is 0. Simple. Then in about 4 seconds, opacity becomes 100. Now you play this and check. By looking at the timeline, you should be able to say what is happening. Okay, so from here to here it travels faster, here it travels slower, and then here what happens? Position is happening, here scaling is happening. It becomes big, here opacity is happening. Okay, so here also opacity is happening. GDUT, PRC appears. GDUT disappears. Now you should define what should happen for PRC. Okay, so for PRC, I'll click here, scaling, I'll switch on. While this is disappearing, I'll make the scaling go up. Okay, and for this PRC, you see the anchor point is here. I'll go change the anchor point so that my scaling goes differently. Now you see how it goes. Scaling goes in the center, so it comes here. Okay, while this scaling is happening, I wanted to do something to the opacity as well. So this is opacity. Now opacity is 100. You see here we have 100. Control C. Select this. Control C. Paste it here. Control V. Then when it becomes bigger here, I'll make this 0. Now play. Isn't it smooth? You can make it much more smoother. You can apply whatever methods that you want, and you can do that. So you can see this output here, and all these workspaces, windows, all these we'll see from time to time when I teach you, one by one. So this is how you create a simple type tool and make a simple animation. I hope all of you can make your name and your register numbers here, and then you can make a simple animation. Okay, so this is one, and the more you practice, the more you will get to know about the tools. Okay, so I was telling you about these tools here, isn't it? Till the type tool we have completed, I'll show you what uh, all these are. Okay, the upcoming part of this video. First practice this, then you can continue with the other tools as and when I teach.